everybody, and welcome back to the Front Porch. I am your host, Ethan, and today with me, I am joined by two very lovely, very talented, very incredible ladies. I could keep going, but we would be here forever. Liberty and Aubrey. How are both of you doing today?
I feel great after that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for the hype.
Oh, yeah.
That was the confidence boost I needed to do this.
Yeah, I'm
You
good.
two are my ride or die on the road, so
Absolutely.
Yeah.
gotta,
Yep.
and that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing some traveling.
Yeah.
A lot of it, I gotta say.
Oh, we've been traveling.
Since, when was it? Was it March or May?
March.
Yeah.
Yeah, March was kind of the big start of it, and then
Yeah.
it slowly just kind of ramped up, and now it's calmed down.
Now we're editing
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
we
Everyone's back in the office, and it's like a weird feeling. Like there's a lot
Yeah.
of people here, and we're like, oh, right. We work here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like we've been on the road for weeks, months at a time. And some of you have. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But for those of you who are either just tuning in or are not familiar, Liberty and I are video production people, and Aubrey is a project manager. And she has been with both of us, sometimes Liberty and someone else, out shooting this very big episodic project that we're working on. Monthly thing, a lot of travel, meeting a lot of new people, really cool. But it is tiring. It's very tiring. So we're gonna kind of just talk about, I guess, not only our experiences on the road, but also what a project like that looks like, and then also like what our gear load typically looks like in that kind of process too.
Yeah. We can go through like what we do before we get
Yeah.
on a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
If
feel
you've
like a
ever
lot of
wondered
people,
how that works.
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people probably don't think about that or realize that. But I mean, we're rolling through the airport with a cart full of cases, like sometimes 10, 15 at a time, and then fighting for overhead bin space on the plane because some of our stuff just flat out cannot be checked or put underneath. And that can be a challenge sometime with full flights. I know I get nervous about it. You guys can back me up on that.
I get nervous.
You're always like,
I get
Aubrey,
nervous
relax.
about it.
It's going to be okay. I'm like,
No.
okay.
I think we all get nervous about it. I just have to like swallow it and be like,
Yeah.
we're gonna do it.
Yeah. And plan our time accordingly. And we always figure it out. I mean, I'm relatively new, but we haven't had any major headaches. I know maybe I shouldn't even jinx it, but everything's gone pretty smooth so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've always made it work out no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, it does kind of, the gear kind of varies though, which has been interesting to me as someone who, I don't know much about the gear, if anything. I literally walked in today and we're like, why are we using these lights? Just to try to understand how things work. But the variety of the gear, depending on what we're doing, has been kind of a surprise for me. And it's really interesting to kind of pitch the concept to you guys and watch you kind of figure out like, okay, well, we're going to be in this setting, interviews and B-roll, and let's use this, and you handle this, and I'll do this. It's kind of interesting how it all comes together. But yeah, you guys are masters of the craft. I'm just along for the ride.
We try to be. I think Liberty more so than me.
That's just
You're
inaccurate.
both good at it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've gotten pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I gotta say, especially working together.
The first couple times I feel like it was a little more intimidating, but then we got to a point where it was like, okay, we know the kit we need to take,
Yeah.
and pretty much just got that together before we flew out.
Yeah, that's kind of cool about the three of us have kind of become this squad for this episodic project, and it's kind of nice to fall into the groove of that all together of like, hey, this shoot's going to be similar to the one we were on 2 months ago in whatever state we were in, and then you kind of make your list according to that, and it's coming together really smooth, at least on my end, most parts, thanks to you guys. So
Yeah.
And thanks to you.
Yeah, we would be running around screaming if
I'm just like, here's what we're doing, bring whatever you need.
What are we doing?
Meet you at the airport. Yeah, but no, it's kind of cool because when it's a brand new project, you kind of look at it like, all right, and you do what you think you're gonna need, and now we're several months into this project, and we're getting into that groove, and that's really exciting just to know like, oh, Liberty and Ethan are coming with me, it's gonna be fine. So, you guys rock.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, it takes
Ooh.
it's
Is it hot in here?
there's a lot of moving pieces and parts with the project, and we've been so many different places. So be able, on my end, on a management side, to be able to be like, oh, those two are coming with me. I don't need to worry about it. I can hand it off to you and trust that it's going to be done. That's been really nice.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's been a nice part about somewhat keeping the same people on just this one client.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, we know you're like, oh, it's like the shoot we did here. And so that makes it a lot easier for us and less stressful. And then anytime there's a new thing, you know, we always figure out whatever we need or any obstacles we might face.
Mm-hmm. Plus, we have so much fun when we travel together. Like laughing until my stomach hurts. Fun, which is great. Even if it's like a really stressful day, I know at the end of the day we're going to find some sort of shenanigans to get into, which is great.
4 a.m. at the airport. People are moving away from us because we're laughing so hard.
That's true. We are frequently underslept at the airport, so apologies.
It's not our fault, yeah.
Apologies, but not really.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
We'll never see those people again.
Yeah.
Until next week when we're at the airport again.
At least we weren't the people screaming on a plane at 6 a.m. like we had recently. We had 1 hour of sleep, left for the airport at 2 a.m. for a 6 a.m. flight, and sat down next to some people who were just hooting and hollering. So
they clapped when the plane landed. I want you to know that right
That's
now.
a pet peeve of mine.
They are those people.
We shouldn't be congratulating the pilot for landing. Like, they should land the plane every time.
Right. Like, oh, you want credit for the bare minimum?
It's like the lowest part of your job description.
We're just
land the plane.
We're just fun, and I'm not going to tone down my
part.
Oh, I believe
Taking off and landing are the hardest part of being a pilot.
Yeah.
When you're in the air, it's kind of, you literally cannot run into anything.
A bird.
I mean, you could. But
just put it on cruise
Another
control.
plane.
it's pretty hard.
You know. As a nervous traveler, let's move on.
Watch out for that cloud.
No, but I mean, I've traveled more in this job than I have in my life, and I've only been here a few months. I mean, we've been to some places that I probably never would have gotten to.
What's one of those places?
Honestly, I really liked where we were in Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
It was really cute. It's got a cute downtown. It's kind of, I wouldn't say a big city feel, but there's still like that downtown city feel. And then we went to this really cool Mediterranean place in that, like, I don't know what you would even call that. Not a suburb, but just kind of like a metro area of Hartford. And it was really nice. I'd never been out east before. The vibes were great. Shout out to Hartford.
A lot of historic stuff out there.
Yeah. Or I got to see New York City for the first time, which is a dream trip of mine. We stopped in the city for 2 hours just to pick up camera equipment. And I was like, oh my God, my feet are in the ground in New York City. And we weren't expecting to go there. Like, we had been in Jersey and we're then going up to Connecticut. And Andy, our CEO, was like, hey, we're going to stop in the big city real quick. And I was like, you mean New York City? So as someone who hasn't traveled very much, like that, it's really exciting. And like you said, all the people we meet, and it's wild. You kind of get home after trips and just kind of go, whoa, like that was a week that happened.
Yeah. So going back to being at the airport at 4 a.m., the worst part about traveling is checking in all of our bags. They're more Pelican cases.
Yeah.
I could say most recently, I know we had like 8 checked Pelican cases for a shoot. And I mean, they're heavy. One of them is literally 100 pounds and it's ginormous. And then we have another tube that has like our tripods and stands in it. We have 2 cameras that we break down, shove into this roller case with their batteries that we can take on the plane. We have a case full of lenses. We have lights with us. We have a Ronin. We have a 5D. It's a whole. It's a lot. It's a lot to travel with. Mm-hmm. And you would think that we would drive with all that stuff, but we can get away with flying with it almost always.
Yeah.
And the check-in process is grueling. It
Yeah.
doesn't always go smoothly.
No, but I mean, we figured it out. Like the last flight we had coming back home, they didn't just, when you get up and you weigh the bags when you're first getting to the airport and then they take them and put them on the conveyor belt behind them. They weren't doing that. So we had to figure out a system of Ethan was at the counter paying for each bag, checking each bag. me and Liberty would wheel them over because we had to put them through the x-rays ourselves, which was interesting, especially when there's a crowd full of people and they had all the tape lanes up. And we're like, okay, how am I going to get this 100-pound thing over here? We have to be to our gate. It can be an adventure, but we always kind of just take a step back, figure out a system. Okay, what can we do? How can we get this done on 1 hour of sleep at 4 a.m.? But we get it done.
And the only time we ever bring on carry-on cases is because those cases have batteries, lenses, or cameras in them. Very expensive stuff. Because camera batteries cannot go under the plane. They will explode.
Yeah.
Or Anton Bauer batteries, for those of you that know what those are. Ginormous, like, light batteries. So it's always us hauling these around, and then we have to contend with people that throw their backpacks up in the overhead bins. And they're like, I don't want this underneath my seat.
Yeah, because it's not like, I mean, you can't put it under the plane. It's not even like a preference thing. It's a safety issue. And you don't want to argue with the flight attendant or whoever is telling you, because you don't want to be like, hey, if this goes underneath, the plane is going to be on fire. Like, you can't just say that in an airport. So you kind of have to be like, no, please don't take this bag from me. Like, we always kind of look at each other whenever they make the announcement, hey, we're looking for bags to be checked. We're always like,
yeah, that's always a little bit of
not us,
fear
please.
instilled.
And we're sitting in our gate. We all have a rolly bag and a backpack. Like, but
They're also pretty heavy. So
yeah,
if you can imagine being in a little aisleway and then you have to hoist it up into the overhead bin while like
everyone's
keeping the
looking
bin
at you.
open, and your arms are just like. So thanks to everybody who's ever helped. There's been some people. It's always very nice.
Or people who offer to help us off the baggage claim at the end.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you need help with that? But
What are you looking at me for?
sometimes we're not allowed to accept the help. But no, people haven't really. I always get nervous getting it down. Because when the plane lands and everyone immediately stands up, everyone wants to get off that plane. People are trying to make a connection. They just want to get home, whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, get this down as fast as you can. But you don't want to hit anybody. You don't want to hold up the line. But it's an adventure before the adventure is kind of how I think of our airport experiences.
And then there's packing the car.
Yes. And then we pick up the rental car and we have to like Tetris our personal luggage with the gear, with the carry-ons, and then also make sure that there's a space in the back seat for a human to sit, which can be fun.
Yeah. San Diego, we had 4 people. Everybody had their own checked bag. Had, 10 cases of checked?
Yeah, it was,
And we had to fit it all into the car. And we were working that. We were absolutely Tetris.
We were on the clock for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, we've always done it, which is impressive. Sometimes you're sitting in the car with something on your lap, but that's just how it goes.
Also,
or holding something up. You were holding cases up next to you last time, and then like sleeping against them.
Yeah, and then on the way back to the airport, I just had a full case just on my lap. Mm-hmm. And then Liberty was like, "Oh my God, I didn't even realize." You felt so bad.
Yeah.
Also, rental car agency slander. Why do you guys never have cars? That is your one job. It's literally the only thing you have to do. Is just have a car available for us that we reserve.
It's like a Seinfeld.
Yeah.
skit.
We always show up.
Well, what was the reservation for?
A car.
Yeah. That's true.
And then they go in the back room and it's like, oh, we just got to stand there and look busy.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, we ordered a full-size SUV. Like, give me a big Yukon. They're like, well, the best we can do is a Prius. Like, that's not going to work. But the more that we're reserving things, like I was recently upgraded to some sort of like diamond status. Oh. So now I can just check in on the app and go right to the car.
Wow.
It's like, you're in aisle D, go pick one. And I'm like, oh, that Tesla looks nice, but 10 cases of gear won't fit in that. So
it's like when Dale and I went up north and we were like, we need a mid-size SUV. That's it. Mm-hmm. Super standard. Nothing crazy, nothing that's expensive. I just need to fit an Astra case in this thing.
Sure.
And they were like, we upgraded you to a BMW sedan. And I was like, Sure. I'll make it fit.
That's not gonna work for me.
Yeah, they're like, sorry, we don't have a car, but they do have those rentable scooters on the corner if you guys want to get one of those.
Yeah, I'll take a spin.
Sure.
With
Yeah,
the
fire up the Lime scooters. We can just roll the rollies behind us. We'll get there.
Yeah, I was like, I'll make this gear fit in this BMW if I have to, but that thing had sport mode and it could zip. Moving away from travel troubles, with this project and these shoots in particular, I feel like all of it pays off because as our own like 3-person team, we have so much creative freedom when we shoot these projects, and it allows us to shoot in ways that we don't typically get to because we don't have clients like looking over our shoulders that are like, no, we want it to look this way, which is fine because that's what they're supposed to do. But it is fun having a creative outlet like that every now and again and really getting some pretty shots, or you saw something once and you were like, I want to shoot something like that, and you're able to type thing.
Yeah, well, most times with this project, we get to a location and we have no idea what it's going to look like. You don't know what the lighting is going to be like in there. You don't know if you have a good spot for an interview. You don't know. So there was a location we went to just outside Chicago, and we just did a tour of the office building. And as we're walking through, we're like, oh, that hallway's a great shot. Or over here, that'd be a great interview set. And then even just what angle to do it at. It's cool to kind of be like, all right, guys, here's our set. Here's our objective for the day. And then you two kind of just tag team how you're going to shoot it, who's going to have what equipment. So that's kind of fun to walk into a blank slate of a location and figure out how to get it done. But it's cool to watch you two kind of come up with that plan in your own brains and then together. And we always kind of, like, we're 3 different people with, well, you guys have similar background, but, like, I was not involved in production stuff like this before I came here. So to be able to kind of all come to a common objective together at the end of the day with 3 different brains is pretty cool. Like, we'll look at a room and be like, oh, this. And we're like, yeah, I was thinking that too. And then we knock it out. It's pretty cool. And you guys come up with cool stuff. So it's exciting. It's a little nerve-wracking to not know, but we haven't gotten anywhere. Nowhere is going to be unshootable for us. So it's a fun challenge. It's exciting.
And a lot of it is like trust too. Like we all trust each other to do not only what we say we're going to do, but to also execute it to like its fullest extent and maybe even beyond a lot of the time. Oh yeah. And I feel like a lot of that's just because we spend so much time together. So it's just kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, you learn how each other works, and you know what expertise each person has, and who is my best person to ask this question to, or let me get your opinion and yours, and let's come together and kind of combine them and rock it out. But yeah, it's really fun for me.
Yeah.
My knowledge stops at a certain point, like, so to be able to hand it off to you guys and not have to worry about it, like I said, it's great. It's fun.
What are some of your favorite shots that we've done with this project?
All of them. They're all perfect.
On the road.
Everything.
Wow.
Every single one.
Everything Liberty
Well,
shoots looks
they're
nice.
all like
Stop.
true.
Everything Ethan shoots looks nice.
When some things are, like we said, it's the same project, and some shoots are similar, but they're all so different in their own ways. I mean, we're in different office buildings, we're in warehouses, we're outside, we're in all kinds of different weather elements. So I feel I can probably pick a favorite shot from each of the shoots that we've been on so far, to be honest.
I can say one that comes to mind for me. Do you want to say something?
Go.
I don't want to keep
I'll go next.
Okay.
I have mine.
Okay.
I finally thought.
Okay. There was a shot when we were in where was it?
Was it recently? Was it last month?
No, it wasn't last month.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
What is time?
Oh my God. No, it was Chicago. It was Chicago.
Okay.
Where we had shot an interview and he was on a stool and behind him it was like all the colorful shapes.
Yeah, I love those.
And prior to that, we had done an interview and I was like, for B-cam, I'm going to do it handheld. So throughout the interview, I could change the angle in the shot and like focus on their hands and their face and, do a lot of like cool off-centering type stuff. I could really give them a lot of negative space and put a lot of emphasis on the environment. And I think that I'm pretty proud of that. And it was
Yeah,
it
you
was
should
hard.
be.
It was hard to shoot it because that camera gets heavy after a while, after a full day of shooting.
Oh yeah.
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 And you know.
Yeah. It's-
No, it turned out great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think about that a lot. I hope we shoot more interviews like that because they get stale after a while, talking heads,
Yeah.
because people don't always know how to make it look interesting.
Yeah, you got to keep people's attention. I think that's a big thing for this project because, like you said, it's episodes, so you want to keep people watching all the way through. You don't want them to just be looking at one person on camera for their minute or whatever they're talking. So to have the like static setup camera on a tripod and then to have you separately handheld just to give that more natural. It was almost like you had kind of a side angle, like you were saying with our interview subject and the cool foam shapes behind him. And it kind of gives you that natural thing, like I'm standing in the hallway just watching him talk. And I think that really helps you connect with your viewers. It makes it more natural. And I mean, we had lights and cameras and everything. It was this whole big setup, but I don't think you would know that looking at it. You can tell because of the quality, but you wouldn't think, wow, they took over this entire hallway with equipment. And I think that natural feel just makes it feel more authentic and natural. And that's the underlying goal of this project. So to take that goal all the way down into those details, I think is what makes us successful at what we do. Because it's not just in the interviews or how we're editing thing. It's all the way down to where am I standing with what camera. And I think that is important.
I think that one stood out because the way we lit it too, like it was a big aperture with the light dome on it. And it was very, I mean, there were a bunch of windows in that room too. And you can't tell there were windows in that video, but it felt very like documentary style. It didn't feel so polished and professional. I think that's why it stands out to me so much.
Yeah.
And
Did we have another light, or did we just use the aperture?
he had those overhead lights, like
Oh, right.
they
we
were
chose
like
which
they weren't
ones.
directly.
Oh, that's right.
They weren't directly over him. They were like kind of offset behind him,
Yeah.
and then he dimmed them a little bit.
That's right.
Type
was cool.
thing. So he had like a little bit of an edge light too, which is really nice.
That was a good one.
But yeah,
And it turned out well.
yeah.
Yeah, we used,
My-
yeah.
I think my favorite was when we were in Hartford. And I know you kind of touched on this, but I think we had 5 interviews and they wanted a different space for each one. And we had 15 minutes in between each interview to set up a new shot. That was the first time I was doing it solo, setting up my own shots. And I think that was like a very intense but rewarding day.
Yeah.
And it was also your first day going solo with interviewing. And you did so well. And it was like, it was just a really good team day, I think, for us. Like, you and I were on it. Like, we would go from interviews done, all right, pack up, moving to the next one. And knowing that Andy had already shot there the day before, we couldn't do the same places. So we were really, like, stretching the creativity that day because it was a pretty small office. I mean, it was...
And empty. Like, we had to kind of hide that it was an empty office because people are working from home or on vacation, or it's just kind of how things are now. But we didn't want to show an empty office, so we had to get really creative in the office space and windows and different colors. And I think we probably spent 10 minutes trying to light a plant correctly.
Yeah.
Like there was one shot that you
had to
set
be
up
right.
so well. I remember we were both nervous at the beginning of the day, and we just kind of like took a deep breath and figured it out. And there was that one shot that you set up in the hallway for one interview. That was a tough interview too. I'll never forget that. But it comes down to all of those little tiny details, and we're running around the office trying to find a good plant to have in the background. And then it's like, well, we need a little light on that because there's windows over here, there's red brick back here. And I mean, it was amazing. The plant is like perfectly in the shot. It looks great, and nobody would probably even think of that.
Right.
But that was one of my favorite shots of that shoot because it was kind of a weird place to set up an interview. It was like the middle of a hallway with some cubicles behind and some shelves and a couple succulents, but you just kind of make your own space. And you really pulled it off. It was great. And the interview was great. So yeah, that was a good one.
And it made the cut, so, you know, that's always nice.
And the client's
shot-
happy,
Makes the
so I
cut.
love that. But
That shot looks really nice.
Thanks.
that was one of my favorite ones. We did some fun ones. a few weeks ago in a different area of Connecticut, about an hour away from Hartford.
Norwich.
Yeah, that was an adventure of a space to shoot in, all kinds of colors and textures and lights and
A lot of colors.
a lot of color,
lights.
a lot of
lights.
and not just like vibrant colors like reds, blues,
Yeah.
yellows, just in huge spaces. So yeah, there was a lot of opportunity there that I think we really used to our advantage. You did a cool spinny move with a camera, a wide shot of a big space, and
Yeah, that was awesome.
yeah, it was another one of those moments where we just we checked out the room earlier in the day before we were supposed to be there shooting, and we kind of like looked around and we all kind of mapped out things, and you're okay, I'll be on this side and you'll be on this side, and then we switch, and we did a lot of cool stuff. I don't know if I have a favorite one there, but
I have to say, can I just like bow down to you and praise you for a sec?
No. Yeah, what's up?
There, you had a handheld shot in that same room when they were playing their big intro video sequence, and you had tried it. You had tried it once, and he walked away. But it was a guy's silhouette against like the video playing in the background.
Yeah, oh yeah, I
And
remember that.
you framed him up perfectly the first time, and he immediately walked away,
Yeah.
and you couldn't shoot him anymore. But he had come back to a different side, and you got him then. And that shot looks incredible.
Thank you.
And I'm trying to put it in my current edit somewhere
Nice.
because it was exactly. I was like, God, I wish I could get that shot, and I was like, I bet Liberty will get it at some point, and you did.
that was a tricky space too, because it wasn't just the colors. Like when you were shooting in there, at what point like all the house lights were down, and it was just the light of the stage, and the screen was as wide as the room, and then there's mirrors on the side. Like there were a lot of things to work around for you guys, and
Yeah.
you made it look easy. So
Yeah.
props.
That was an interesting audience setup too, because we couldn't go in the middle of it.
Yeah.
We could
Yeah.
only stay on the outside, and that can get tough when you want to get straight on with presenter
Yeah.
spaces or even the audience. So
Yeah.
that was tough to work around, but
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed with. I wasn't able to get nice straight on, like close, because I had the
Yeah.
Ronin.
Yeah, because it's a big conference space with that huge stage, and then you had, I think, 39 8-top tables
Yeah.
in the room, kind of scattered full of people. So you don't want to stand in front of anybody. You don't want to get in anyone's way or bump the chair. So yeah, that was a challenge, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I just stood in the back of the room and watched. I'm useless at that point, but
there's
You
a lot
worked
of
around it. It turned out great.
Crouching and
A lot of
crab
crouching,
stepping.
yeah, I did get some photos of you guys getting creative with how you got your shots. There was a couple on the complete opposite side of the space that we were in. At one point, both of you were sitting on the ground on this like concrete floor, and I just took a picture behind you because I mean,
That's how we do. Huh?
and in my yeah,
do.
exactly in my head, I was like,
It do
whatever it
be
takes
like
to get
that.
the shot. And I mean, we got days and hours worth of video, so to see that kind of like tenacity that far into the shoot for me was sick, because that wasn't the stuff that we were getting wasn't necessarily a priority. It was just like, well, let's get this too. Maybe we can use it later. Maybe the client will want it from us. Let's just do it. So to see that kind of all out mentality from you guys, even that far into it, amazing for me as a PM.
I'm just glad I can hunch over on the floor like a little gremlin person and aim the camera straight up above me and just like
I have a photo of that
and
too.
just move the joystick slowly and just wait for it and not even look at what I'm shooting. And you guys are like, hey, he's probably getting it.
No, when I see you in that, like when Ethan's in crouch mode, I'm like, stay away from him. He's in his zone right now, and it's gonna be so dope at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Like,
that is one of the things. It's like you cannot talk to me.
no, when Ethan is
I
in
need
his
my,
element.
My thumb cannot move.
Yeah,
on
do
that
not
joystick.
disturb mode
it
is
needs
on.
to be the exact same speed. Mm-hmm. Or when I just lay down on my back on the ground too.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet, but I'll be on the lookout.
Yeah,
That was in
times.
in like a closet. We were shooting a light, and Ethan got down
Yeah,
and laid down to get the light. That was a
Whatever it
cool one.
takes.
whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. We always get it done.
Avengers Endgame. Whatever it takes. Some people will know what I'm talking about.
Is
But
that a movie?
it's in the trailer. It
What?
doesn't matter. Is
I'm like-
Avengers Endgame a movie?
I'm like the least Marvel-y person in the office.
What are your
so-
guys' favorite Marvel shots? It's actually kind of a cool topic.
That
Should
someone
we-
else should.
Should we run with it? Maybe we should have other people on.
That's-
Donnie's looking at
Save
me.
that for another day.
Crickets.
Yeah. I don't,
Dane, what's your favorite Marvel shot? If you had one.
The one that moves.
Wow.
The one that's on green
thank you,
screen.
Dane. Thank you.
That was
Cool.
The one that's on the green screen.
inspiring.
I got a few. I had. I'm not going to talk about it.
I haven't
but
even seen all of the
I need to get
movies.
this idea out before it goes away because I thought about it at 2:30 last night. Don't talk about why I was up at 2:30.
I wasn't going to.
I was playing Balloons Tower.
I was up
Defense
too.
You're playing balloons.
6. Balloons? BL.
All right. Get whatever.
Okay.
You gotta get out.
So what if
I was on TikTok.
we did like Pictionary, but we tried to draw like some of our favorite shots from like cinematic history, and then we tried to guess what it was
Oh,
from.
you got to get Kevin on that.
Right, Dane?
Wow.
That'd be kind of fun.
You got my approval.
Like if we had like a list, so it's a little bit easier because it will be hard to
Let's
do
save
that.
for a future podcast.
We can
Yeah.
use the big whiteboard.
I think that would be really fun.
Wow.
All right. Anyway, I just had to get that out there.
Nerds.
You can keep that in if you want. If you get excited about it, join us, please.
Smash that like button if you agree.
Yeah, a little tease.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pictionary coming up.
Did Dane
At some
just
point.
wink?
What?
You just tossed out a wink? Or was that an involuntary
I
wink?
think he just blinked.
It just something,
Oh, maybe.
something squirted in my eye. earlier.
Score.
You okay? Something squirted in your eye?
It's got this thing keeps happening.
Okay, that's fine. Let's just drop that.
I think we should.
Please cut that.
I don't know if I want to drop that, actually. Seems kind of concerning.
Name problem?
Just love talking to off-camera Dane.
Don't worry about it. We're all good.
I mean, I have read comments that the podcast needs more Dane, so I do think it's important that
Oh, I've read that
we
comment
include
plenty of
off-camera
times.
Dane. Anyways, what were we
I will say, since we're on the topic of interview shots, if you're ever shooting an interview, you want depth and you want good framing. Don't ever put someone directly against a wall.
Yeah,
That's probably like the number one thing you should not do.
even I know that.
Yeah. You want to be able to see a nice space behind them, and in the frame, you want to balance that frame out. So if your subject is on the right third, maybe a little something peeking into the left side of the screen, like a plant.
When
You
in
know?
doubt, add a plant.
Add a plant.
We've had some tastefully placed pillows before as well.
Yes,
Yep.
pillows.
Mhm.
Anything to give a pop of color.
Yeah.
That's right.
Love a good pop of color.
And the viewer would never think of that, but we had a 2-minute conversation over which pillow goes where and which color's in front and which one looks better. You set it up, you run back and look at the camera, and
Yeah.
the small details that go into it y'all don't even know.
We really do need one of those like portable monitors. I feel like we would benefit so much from that.
Okay.
But I will say, after we spend all day getting these awesome shots, we have a lot of fun. Like at TGI Fridays or watching Hell House LLC.
Non-sponsored.
Non-sponsored.
Or we had a fun Walmart trip.
Yeah.
That was fun. Or being in the car, we have fun sometimes.
Yeah. Car rides.
We often get soup.
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 Yeah,
Soup girl.
soup girl over here.
Soup
Liberty is our
girl.
resident
Soup.
soup girl.
Soup
Yeah,
girl.
when we get together, it's
We wreak havoc.
wow. I don't even know.
We're a nightmare.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It honestly reminds me of when I used to have like sleepovers with my friends growing up, and my parents used to have to keep coming downstairs to tell us to be quiet. Like I feel like that. As a 30-year-old woman, I'm like, I mean, we act like children, but in a respectful.
In a respectful
After
way.
after
Fun.
hours.
After the work uniforms come off and our party outfits come on.
True,
You know,
which is often just like
it's just like
big hoodies and,
yeah, we
and
just wanna
comfy
be
stuff.
comfortable at that point.
Snacks. We're good at snacks.
Yep.
Yeah, we recently spent a lot of time in an arcade on one of our
Oh,
trips.
Yes. We spent a lot of time.
We
Like
spent-
hours.
And a lot of money.
And a
Yeah.
lot of talent came out of
Everyone.
those arcade trips. Someone's like an expert at the claw machine.
Ethan also
What was that?
beat
Like-
a high score. at the arcade.
Ethan did beat a high score in the children's arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah. He beat some kid that with really messy handwriting.
Yeah.
And I beat that high score. It was not like, well, it's kind of close. Like that high score is non-existent.
Some
anymore.
8-year-old child is crying that
Yeah.
they no longer have their name on the whiteboard in the.
It was so impressive that I won a certain amount of tickets for that, and the nice counter lady who I think about more than I should.
She was
probably.
so nice. She was so nice.
She gave me more tickets, so
She was very impressed.
That was
Yeah.
fun. And then, I mean, we went there multiple times. Yeah, my credit card company was like, it looks like you were charged twice. And it was just me reloading tickets. Because it was in like minutes of each other. It was like, were you charged twice? And I was like, no, that was me. Thanks for checking.
it was probably the token game.
It was. Or
But
the,
yeah.
or the basketball game. There was a basketball game I really liked playing.
Yeah, really good at basketball. You really liked that ball throwing one.
Notice how he didn't
with
say
the squares?
Notice how he didn't say you're really good at the ball throwing one. He was just like you really liked that ball.
No, you were
Well,
good at it.
Oh no, I didn't mean that.
were good at
oh,
it.
No,
I wasn't good.
You were.
It's
I meant
fine.
that.
And the
It wasn't
clowns.
great.
And you know what yeah, this is going to sound so weird to people. Yeah, the ball game and the clowns. You were great.
I liked the
We had
ball
fun.
game.
You were really good at
I
the
would
ball
play that
game.
again.
We had fun.
I'd never seen that before. That was a new game.
Yeah,
Me
New
either.
game.
Yeah.
and I guess I'm good at claw machines.
Yeah, you're
And
great.
the
I didn't
coin
really know
pushing
that.
one, we tore that up.
Yeah,
what was
that-
it, Wonder
man,
Woman?
Yeah, the Wonder Woman coin pushing
Mm-hmm.
game.
Don't bump those.
Yeah, Liberty set off the tilt alarm a little bit. But they didn't have those when I was a kid.
It was pretty embarrassing.
It was an accident.
Like, I went to Chuck E. Cheese a lot as a kid. Like, our daycare went twice a month. On Fridays was Chuck E. Cheese Day.
You mean Chuck E. diseases?
I turned off mine.
Anybody?
No, I don't.
Wow.
Are we saying it's dirty? I mean, it is. It's good for your immune system.
Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
that what
that's
the
his-
E is?
That's his full name.
I don't like it. Remember the animatronic ones up at the front?
Yeah, they were awesome.
What was that?
Nightmares.
I'm sorry.
You suck.
I didn't see.
Roll it back. Don't get me off the rails, because you know once we start getting off the rails, it's over.
What is
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Next question.
I don't know how to break
Leave a
away
comment
from
with
this.
your favorite arcade game. Smash that like button. Thanks.
With all of this travel, is there one specific thing that you learned is there one important thing that you learned that sticks with you?
Gotta be flexible.
Hmm.
You gotta
Yeah.
be flexible and adaptable, because when you're 1,000 miles from home and you forget something, you can't just go out and buy it most of the time. So you really have to, one, be prepared in the first place so that it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, calm down, work together to find the solution, and you just got to keep pushing, because
For sure.
it happens. There's no way you can completely eliminate human error. So
Yeah.
it hasn't happened a lot, but when it has, we've always solved the problem
Yeah, I don't think.
and figured it out.
Well, even adjusting to equipment issues on the fly. We've run into that a couple times with lighting or audio or what have it, and you have to just find a way to get it done. I think one of my biggest lessons on the road and even just in this position is just kind of taking advantage of the growth that comes out of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Like, even with flying, I am a very nervous flyer. I hadn't done it much until I got here, and I'm definitely getting more comfortable with that. And I kind of just had to be in my own head and be like, take a deep breath. It's going to be fine. Like, you're with your friends. It's going to be fine. You're going to get there. You're going to crush the shoot. And you mentioned my first solo time interviewing, and I have a news background, so it shouldn't be weird to me, but that's not what I did in news. So to have my boss say, hey, you have this skill, run with it, I was immediately nervous and even like a little bit of doubt. And then it's now one of my favorite parts of my job is talking to people and interviewing people and the challenges that come with that. Because some of the people, I really have to try to get the answer out of them. So a lot of people come with prepared answers, or they've heard the question before or whatever, but it's been a challenge to kind of get people to break their character like that and get the content that we want. So it can be scary, but it's everything that's been scary to me so far has been worth it at the end, and I've learned something from that. And I think that only makes me better at my job, which is great, and I have a good time doing it. So the fear turns into excitement and then reward at the end after we get back from the airport, and I go, we did it.
And then you go.
Yeah, and then I sleep, and then I come back to the office, and I'm going through the footage, and I'm like, wow, that turned out even better than I thought. It's great.
I would say I am not a roll with the punches person. I don't want to. I have found myself having to do that quite a bit, especially with traveling. And I used to get really stressed about it, and it was like the number one bane of my anxiety. But it's gotten to a point where I'm like, we have always made it work, and I always remind myself of that, to the point where it literally does not bother me anymore. Like when we were in Connecticut, and they were like, oh, we don't have your rooms booked because you're not supposed to be here until tomorrow. And you were like, I'm going to die.
I was like, I'm going to throw up. But
and I was like, Aubrey, I can't explain it to you, but it's just going to work out somehow.
It's true.
And it did, you know?
And we slept on the bus that night.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. But
no.
I don't mean to get emotional in the group chat, but being with you two and like hanging out so much together and really developing like the bond, not just like a coworker bond, but being like really good friends, just like takes all that stress out of me. And it's like, well, if anything bad happens, at least I have you two.
Yeah, I got you.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear you say that, because you're so cool in situations like that, I feel like. Because I'm like that too. Like, I need a plan.
Yeah.
I need all the details. And if anything kind of goes off course, I'm immediately like, But I don't want to ever show that. Like, I don't want anyone to be able to pick up on that. So I just get like really quiet. Or be like, Ethan, I'm going to die right now. Please help me.
I'm like, you actually get pretty vocal about
it. You should see what I'm not vocal about. But it's true. It's like, okay, this challenge came up and I'm a little uneasy, but it's going to be fine. Good?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
But yeah, I think,
Yeah.
being able, it's a trust thing. Like being able to trust each other, I think is really helpful. To know that if I am anxious or worried about a situation, to know that I can confide in you to both help me find a solution professionally and then like support me as a homie. That's really great for me, because I feel like a lot of people don't always have that in their jobs.
Yeah.
Or they feel like they're alone and they have to fix it on their own, and that's not how we operate here. If I need something, I can ask anybody. But yeah.
All right, Dan and Donnie are
That was
getting
really nice.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Besties, everyone be jealous of our friendship.
Dan and Donnie are getting restless back there.
I know.
So we're gonna
Donnie's-
wrap this up.
They're
Donnie's pacing with his eyes.
So before we close out, what have you two been watching?
I got to think about it.
Okay.
I watch a lot of things.
I've been watching Alone on Netflix, which is a survivalist show where 10 people go out to the Canadian wilderness and see how long they can survive for. And it's awesome. I've learned so much.
That's
and
awesome.
it's really entertaining.
Yeah.
It's highly suggested.
Well, I said this last time I was here, but I'm still watching Seinfeld. Didn't watch it when it aired, in real time when it was on. So I'm still going through it. I love it. If I just have something on in the background, I've recently been watching Letterkenny. Yes. I just love that quick comedy. Oh my God, there's one line. I mean, it kills me. I'm laughing out loud at it. Just if I'm like doing the dishes or whatever, I'll turn that on. But I'm also in full on spooky season mode. I'm watching all the cheesy horror movies, all the lights off. I'm ready to be scared. So I can't even think of what. I watched one of the Paranormal Activities.
Oh, those are so
I
fun to
watched
watch.
some kidnapping one. It's hard to keep it all straight in my head because I'm also reading spooky books right now. Ooh. So it all kind of blends together, but I'm in full-on spooky season mode. Letterkenny and murdery stuff, which really sums me up if you think about it. What about you? What are you watching?
I just jumped back into season 2 of The Exorcist. Because for those of you that don't know, The Exorcist, Fox did a TV show. and
Didn't know that.
incredible. I did not have very high expectations for it, and it has far exceeded what I thought it would be.
That's awesome.
The special effects and like the CGI they do and like the possession sequences are horrifying.
Sick.
And you care about like the characters too, type thing. And the cinematography is gorgeous. I'm genuinely amazed that they pulled it off.
Is it related to the original film? Like, is there any connection there, or just similar?
There's loose connections. Yeah,
Okay.
they'll make references. They're like, "Oh, that was a big inciting factor," and then ever since then, this
okay.
stuff has happened. Type
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Cool.
No, super good. I highly recommend it. You can watch it on Hulu.
Love that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Adds to list. Cool.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
I think we're good.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with me.
Thanks
coming
for
on
having
to the porch.
us.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah.
I always like talking to you guys. So
Yeah, we're like besties. So
yeah, I know. It's all right.
I mean,
We'll hang out.
yeah. See you guys soon.
What are you guys doing later?
Probably watching that show.
Thanks for thanks for tuning in and watching us be not only a little bit silly but also a little bit goofy and also rambunctious.
Silly, goofy move.
This is our third one we filmed today, so I'm kind of feeling it now. Next one I might get a little kooky crazy, you know?
It's soup time.
Yeah,
Gotta have a soup.
it is soup time. Yeah.
You got 3 minutes in this battery.
All right. But with that, thank you, Dane. With only 3 minutes of battery left on one of our cameras, with that, I will leave you all with adieu and get off our porch.